Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. I know I say I'm always excited, but new releases make me more excited than anything. Like, this is the most fun part of what I do. So today is Get Ready With Me Day, and I'm going to use all of the new goodies that are coming on September 29th. So if you want to see swatches, I'm going to swatch all the things. I'm going to compare them. We're going to do my full face. I'm going to give you guys all the deets so you're ready for the drop. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you for being here. Okay, friends. I should have just done my face first so that we could just get to the fun part of these new goodies. Oh my gosh, it's even more beautiful on camera. But alas, I'm gonna at least start my face while I am chatting about some of these new goodies coming. So if you do not know, Seint just had what we call reunion, which is our once a year conference. And I always love conference time because it is always new products. Like, they will always give us those new products first. So I got my hands on almost all of them. I'm missing one, but that's okay. I will still describe it all to y'all because I got to swatch. But they are coming super soon. So into this month, September 29th, as always, if you are new to Seint and you have no idea what I'm talking about, new releases are always 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay, so remember that. 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're already a client of mine, I will send out a newsletter like I always do with all of the details and all of the looks I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, or whenever this posts, the week going up before it, so that you guys can see all of the new stuff in action as much as possible, and see what you like, right? So, okay, where should I begin? I got my eyes primed. You'll have to forgive my under eyes. I literally had an allergic reaction on the way to conference. And so if you saw me in person and were like, wow, she looks tired, my eyes were swollen and puffy the whole time. Perfect timing, right? So I went to the dermatologist yesterday and I have got something to try. I'm so excited. I really hope it finally alleviates that issue I've been having for literally a year. It's not fun. So I'll let you guys know if it works in case anyone ever has similar problems with their eyes. It stinks to get old. Okay. So where should we start? Let's go ahead and start with the compacts because I know you guys are dying to see them. And I put all the new goodies in here, and I'm going to be doing my face from this one because it is by far my favorite. Okay, so this one is Poolside. The pictures literally do it no justice. Like, unless you can boomerang that through the website, you can't see how gorgeous that. It's like a unicorn in a compact, right? So I was lucky enough to snag the triple in this because it immediately sold out at conference for artists in this size. Oh, so pretty. So unfortunately, this design only comes in 3D sizes. So 3D sizes, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 18, and 27. So this is the 27, which is the triple. Get a little sneak peek of what's to come. And this is Poolside. Did I say that? I don't remember. Okay, the next one I actually picked up in the Demi sizes. This is the only one that comes in both 3D and Demi sizes. So the Demi ones are 6, 12, 18, 20, and 49, which 49 is like the giant square single. Okay, so I get asked all the time if you can put 3D and Demi and vice versa. And yes, they are the same size as eyeshadows. So it fits eyeshadows so well. You guys have been seeing me use, this is a Demi one as well. I believe this is 18 and this is 20. Is that right? I lied. This is 18 and this is 20. Okay, so the difference in sizes, this is 18, this is 20. The squares trip me up. Okay, so this is about the same size as a 3D palette in the lengthwise at least, okay? Just this is a single. All the Demi ones are single. So I went ahead and picked up this. I didn't have the size yet. I had like all the other sizes. So you guys, I love these for eyeshadows because it's got a nice big mirror and it's a single level, and I like to put my brush cleaning tile in there as well. So these are new releases, but this is the color Key West. So Key West comes in 3D and Demi. This one's got gold for like the emblem, if you can see that, right? It's so pretty. It reminds me of one of those like mood changing t-shirts. Did you guys ever have one of those? It's like, you know, when it like, not mood, sun like with the sun, and it would like change colors. I remember I had one. What happened to those? So this one's got gold. This one is, I can't see, just the black emblem. It's got the logo on the front. Okay, and then the last one is, I gotta remember all these names, guys. Paris Skies. Okay, this one is more of like a champagne gold. I thought they said silver, but it looks more like a champagne gold emblem on that one. So super pretty. I'm obsessed with any kind of metallic emblem. It's just, or logo, it's so pretty. Okay, so we have Poolside, Key West, and Paris Skies in the compacts, and these are only in 3D as well. Okay, so I was debating on if I should do bronzers first or after foundation, and I can't decide, guys. I don't know which one you would be able to see it better on, so maybe we'll just do this first, right? So where did I put bronzers? Okay, I put bronzers in Paris Skies, and you guys, we have 3. So if you have been loving Bella forever, like most of us, we have a much wider range now. These are designed for like fair, medium, and darker skin tones than Bella. Now, I will be honest, I still find Bella the most universal of all of the shades. But I know some people that get lighter in the winter and they feel like Bella is a little bit too dark for them. So if you have more fair skin tones, you're gonna love this lighter shade. I feel like when I looked at them, I was like, okay, this is just like a lighter version of Bella. But then when I see them next to each other, they look very different. So, okay, this is Bella. Okay, so this is Bella right here. So we've got 3 shades. We have Tan Lines, Palm, and Heat Wave. Okay, so in comparison to Bella, you can kind of see they're very different tones. I do feel like this is just going to be a lighter version of this. This is just darker, but I mean, it almost looks a touch warmer. You got to understand that fairer skin tones usually don't have a whole lot of warmth. So that's probably why it gives a little bit more in that tone range. So I want to swatch them all for you guys. Okay. So first of all, Bella, and if you have never stuck your finger into a cream bronzer, these are much creamier than our highlights. So I'm just going to kind of tap on so I don't dig in. Okay, so this is Bella. This is what we've all been using for years. If you are scared of Bella or have fairer skin, or you use Bella but you know you're going to be getting lighter, I would say try Tan Lines. Okay, so this is Tan Lines. This is designed for fairer skin. So if you've been with Seint for a long time, back when we were still mascara, you probably remember Cayman bronzer, and it was a powder, and it was too light for anyone at like my skin tone. It was mainly, I used it as an eyeshadow or to set my contour areas. But this reminds me of Cayman in a cream form, but just a titch darker. So if you liked Cayman, you're gonna love this. And remember, this is like heavily swatched, so they blend out so easily. It's not going to, you know, pull too dark or warm. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty color. That would make a beautiful eyeshadow as well. I think of eyeshadows. I love Bella on the eyes, so that would be a really beautiful eye shade. Okay, so the next one is Palm. Now, you guys, this one is very different. Okay, and when I saw it up on screen, I immediately thought, that looks like Icon. So if you are, this one is designed for medium skin tones. So I will be honest, I think this is gonna pull a little bit too warm if you are fair. So I don't know, you would have to try it. It honestly is all personal preference. But if you're one of those people that love Icon as a bronzer, which I know a lot of people do, I'm gonna get it out and swatch it next to it so you guys can see the difference. And now that I have it next to me, Icon is so much darker. Isn't it crazy how you're like, oh, that looks like that. But then here is Icon. So different. So I was wrong. This literally looks like my shirt. Okay, so there is Palm. There is Icon. Now, granted, this is a highlight shade, so it gives more coverage. So when sheared out, it added that really golden kind of glow, like a bronzer. And this obviously is very sheer going on. So it's gonna still kind of add those golden tones to your skin. But wow, those look so much more different than I thought they would. So that is Palm. I still think it's gonna give a similar effect, and that if you like Icon as a bronzer, I bet you would like Palm. Okay, so again, personal preference. I have a lot of warmth to my skin, so those tend to not give me the bronze look that I like. I like a little bit more bronzy, so this is why I love Bella so much, and I like to mix it with Glow and Muse. Muse is more this tone like Bella. Okay, now the next one is for even darker. So, you know, this is as dark as we've had forever. This is darker than that. Heat Wave has much more of a, oh gosh, that was really soft. I just got a ton on my finger. It's much more of a red undertone. Okay, so it's meant for like dark skin. If you have a lot of ashy blue tones in your skin, you're gonna be obsessed with this color because it adds that red warmth. Okay, so when I immediately saw this, I thought it looked like a lip and cheek color. It has that much warmth in it. To me, it's like a mix between indigo contour and that warmth that indigo gives and Bella bronzer, okay? It almost has like a sandstone-esque vibe to it. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Okay, so it's really pretty. I will be honest, this color is so pigmented. A little goes such a long way. So during conference, if you saw all the pictures of me from the nights out, I wore 2 of these mixed. And I felt like Heat Wave, like you barely touch it and you're gonna get that warmth. I mixed Tan Lines and Heat Wave. And I just kind of, similar to how I normally mix Bella, Glow, and Muse, I just kind of swirled my brush. And then a little goes a long way. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys real quick. Okay, so just by mixing them on the hand, that is Heat Wave and Tan Lines just kind of together. Okay, so you can kind of see that look. And then if you want to compare it to Bella, which my Bella is much drier in comparison because it's been sitting in my compact so much longer. Okay, that is Bella and that is that. Okay, so you can see this adds much more of that red undertone warmth, even though I'm mixing with a lighter shade, so it's not quite so dark. It just is a very different tone, right? So it gives you a little bit more versatility. If you like indigo, you're gonna like Heat Wave. It is beautiful on the skin, okay? So I'm just trying to debate what I should wear. So I'm gonna show you guys that. Why not, right? So I'm just gonna, now again, these are super pigmented and very soft because I just, you see how that looks like indigo? Now, if you are a bronzer girl and you don't mind like being super bronze, you might still be able to wear like something like indigo with it. For me personally, if I'm gonna add the warmth, this much warmth with a bronzer, I'm gonna stick to a cooler contour like I usually wear Astoria, or vice versa. If I'm going to use indigo, I don't always need that extra warmth of the bronzer as well. That way I don't get too, whoops, I'm grabbing the wrong brush. That way I don't get too warm. It's like a balancing act. I want my contour to still look like contour. Now I'm gonna put this on a little bit heavier. I haven't done my face, obviously. I want the inner glow. So sometimes, you guys, there's no perfect time, like you have to put Bella or these new bronzers on. If you want that inner kind of like I've got a tan under here kind of thing, apply it under your 3D foundation. If you want to like put on your foundation and then kind of assess like, okay, I'm feeling a little washed out, or I want to add a little bit more warmth, that is purely all that bronzer is. It adds warmth. So then you can apply it at any step in your routine. Sometimes I'll add my lip and cheek first, and then I'll add bronzer last if I feel like I need a touch more warmth. Sometimes I add bronzer and then I put my lip and cheek on. Sometimes I add bronzer at the very end if I'm like, shoot, I forgot it. They're all creams, you're fine, okay? So there is no, I know a lot of people are like, I've never seen to put it on before. It's just a different application method. There are so many with this makeup, right? There's no right or wrong way. Whatever works for you, whatever you like. I do feel like a lot of times when I put on my bronzer first, I don't have to wear as much foundation, especially if you have like hyperpigmentation like I do or redness. It almost just kind of like adds a little bit more coverage, so you can use less, okay? And you can also like hit full high points of the face really easily without having to worry about, oh, I already brightened, I have to skip those areas I just brightened. So if you wanna do it first, forehead, nose, cheeks, chin, anywhere the sun hits first, you're golden. That's where you wanna bronze, okay? And down the neck, always. So if you have a lighter neck, you always wanna pull that down the neck. Okay, so there you go. That is, I feel like that heat wave is kind of like the most natural looking tan, because if you've ever seen a real tan, there's always warmth underneath it, right? Like always. I would say, I know some people are super scared of bronzers because they don't want to feel orange. If you are fair, stick with this. If you are not, stick with Bella. I feel like it is the least orange of all of them, these two, okay? I just know some people are very scared of bronzers. Don't be. Guys, our bronzers blend out so easily. Try it under your makeup, because then if you're feeling like it's too warm, you can use your highlight to correct it and you should be golden. Okay. All right, so there you go. Our 3 brand new bronzers coming. Let's do some foundation now that I've scared you guys with all this bronzer on my face. That's okay. So if you're new to my videos, you might not know, I always use a color corrector, but like I just said, I can use a lot less if I put that bronzer on first. So I'm gonna use Mango, and I'm gonna kind of just lightly put it where I have hyperpigmentation, and yes, my dermatologist told me I do have rosacea, which is why I always have a tinge of red and why it has not gone away with skincare, which I kind of suspected, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna use it on my nose where I have the most hyperpigmentation. My entire nose is darker. So that's why you saw I didn't put a whole lot of bronzer there. I don't need to. I have a darker nose anyway. So again, pay attention to your face and just put it where you need it. If you have an area of your face that is much lighter, you can add it. Like I see sometimes in color match photos, people have a very light forehead and I can tell you're wearing a hat and you're protecting your face from the sun, which I love. But when you wanna like even that out, you can easily just add bronzer to that area where you don't have that warmth and darkness, and then you can not apply it everywhere else. And that way you even yourself out. So I'm just using the blend brush so that I can keep it really light. I am like breaking out now, of course. And then under my eyes, obviously I have to kind of correct that redness from that irritation. But I also, like, my under eyes are literally peeling right now. So I want the least amount of product there as possible so I don't see texture. I could do Demi there, but I'm gonna show you guys a full face of 3D today. But Demi would probably be the best choice to not see any of that texture, to be honest. Okay, so I've got a little bit of coverage now, but you can still see that warmth. I'm not done. I don't want to completely cover it, but I definitely want to like tone it down in places. So I got my color corrector. Let's just keep with this brush and keep it super light-handed. So where I didn't really bronze, which is usually around my jawline, I'm going to kind of buff it on so it stays really skin-like. All the warmth, so I'm just gonna really gently put a very small amount over that just to tone it down a touch and give myself a little bit more coverage on that area that I normally have redness. So I'm kind of just pressing. I don't really want to move that color around. Around my nose. Now I am fully darker on my nose, so I fully corrected it. So I've got to fully use my main shade to tone down so that I match. My forehead, I never really feel like I need as much coverage on. So I'm just gonna kind of hit right there where I wanna brighten, like so. And then I'm gonna use the small end to gently tap my main shade to kind of build up coverage around my eyes. Not move that color corrector and not get texture. It's all in the amount you use, I promise. And I am barely touching my cream. Barely, guys. I do not use much product. And I'm still gonna remove excess when I'm done. Okay, I like to build up coverage right there. Okay. Even out my eyelids. There you go. Contour time. Yes, so like I said before, I'm sticking with a cool contour. I have got that inner warmth, and you'll see when you apply your contour, you already have that warmth there. So you will get more of a warm look to your contour, even if you're using a cool contour, because you just added all that warmth already, okay? If you don't want that warmth there, don't add bronzer there. It's very easy to control. It's just all placement. So I'm gonna use Astoria, okay, which is a cool contour. Push it over, so right under that cheekbone, stopping about the corner of my eye, up towards my ear, and I'm just gonna keep pressing as I move the brush up to blend that out. I still have that warmth from the bronzer, but because I placed that contour right in the hollow of my cheek, I have more of that natural looking shadow where I want it, right? And I'm just gonna repeat on the other side. Okay, right along that cheekbone. Blend up. Like so. Okay, hairline. Now, just because we added bronzer first does not mean if you put on your contour and finish your face and you're like, I want more warmth. That is the power of creams. You can build up and add more after. Okay, you can apply it anytime. Okay, so now we do jawline, pull down the neck, okay, and then I always make sure I'm using a cool tone contour on my nose or it will pull red. So I'm just gonna do a quick nose real quick, use the corner of my brush. I have to look into a mirror. Kind of just drag that down. And then I mess it up. That's okay. We'll fix it with contour, okay? Then we can blend it with the other side up to the brow. And the nose, and then might as well are at it under that lower lip, make that pop. And there we go, a little detail contour done. It's almost time for the fun part, guys. I know you guys are dying to see these. Okay, but first I like to blend, especially if you have issues with your lip and cheeks lasting. Sometimes if you are blending with this last, you're pulling off a lot of your lip and cheek color. This is why I always do this at this point. I like to make sure my actual foundation shades, my highlight and contour, is blended, no excess, and then I can easily build up color for my lip and cheeks without pulling it off. And I can only use this like if needed, if I need to kind of blur any harsh lines. So I prepared this well before I even sat down, so that way I can just kind of pounce it all over the face, make sure I get all that blended in. Oh my gosh, it is not this time. Kidding, guys, I forgot to brighten. I'm so excited to get to the lip and cheeks, I forgot the step. Ignore me. I'm still sleep deprived. Okay, I'm gonna pick up the buff brush and I'm gonna go ahead and brighten real quick. Oh man, you can use the small end of this brush as well. I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one and press it on. So again, I'm gonna tap into my lightest shade and I'm gonna go, I can't believe I did that, right up to that nose contour and then just kind of out here. Now I'm not going all the way up to the lash line. Okay, I'm just going to kind of brighten this small little triangle here, and then you can always add some out here or blend out there. I have hyperpigmentation right through here, so it's sometimes you'll see me just kind of pounce all the way through that area, and it's just another kind of thin layer to build up coverage. Okay, forehead. This will really make the bronzer pop. Chin. Okay, if your neck is lighter, I suggest putting it down there. Or if you just really want to make it pop, your contour pop more, just highlight right there. Do you see how that makes it stand out even more? Okay, if you want a more subtle contour, skip that. Okay, and then down the middle, I can never do this straight with the brush. I don't know why I try. Oh man. You would think after 4 years I could do this. I'm just gonna use my finger. Okay, that's better. Cupid's bow. Now it's perfector time. Sarah, I swear. Okay, you definitely want to perfect after the brightener, because the brightener is what can easily just look like it's sitting on top of the skin if you don't use this to press it in and to remove excess. Because again, brighteners should match the undertones of your skin. The lighter you go, the more it can emphasize texture, okay? But this helps mitigate texture more than anything else. Pressing it in with a brush and then using this to then, again, press it in and get off excess. And this is literally the only thing that will work for under the eyes to, you know, decrease texture. Look at that. It's like magic. I mean, but again, it's all in how you prepare it. If it's too wet, I mean, I wouldn't have any coverage left right now. Okay, so make sure you're giving it ample time to dry and really squeezing it out in a towel. If you don't have ample time for it to dry out, you really need to make sure you are getting a very absorbent towel and squeezing it out a lot. Like, I'm not just talking about once, like a lot. I literally have bronzer on every brush now. I'm like, which brush can I blend that out with? There we go. Okay, anywhere you might crease, I am going to go ahead and set that because I know my face and I know I will crease under the eyes if I don't immediately set and I start talking like normal. So I'm just gonna pat that out, make sure I've got no creasing. Touch it with the powder brush. Okay, and set that whole area. Okay, you guys, it's finally time. It's finally time I can stop talking and just get to what you guys came here for. My new lip and cheeks. Holy moly. So I did do an Instagram video swatching all of them and describing the colors and then trying a few. The hardest part of these videos is deciding what color to try. I'm gonna try to swatch them over here real quick and try to kind of compare them to a few. So first up, we've got Candy. Okay. Now, in that IGTV, I kind of said that this one reminds me of Summer Love. So let's get it out, shall we? So if you don't know, you can get them all individually, or you guys, this is the cutest packaging ever. Pick a shade, any shade. It's called the Ace of Shades, and it will come with all 5. Like, they're all arranged real cute. These are just the 10 lids that for all those lip and cheek colors. But you can get this Ace of Shades collection when they're released as well. I mean, I just wanted it for the box. I will be honest, that box is so cute. Okay, let's find Summer Love, shall we? Okay, so there's Candy. There's Summer Love. So I was right. Summer Love is more nude. Candy is more pink. But otherwise, I mean, they're pretty similar, which is why when I saw Candy up on screen, I was like, that is gonna be my shade. I just knew it because I love neutrals, I love pinks, and Summer Love was currently my very favorite shade. They're so pretty. Okay, they are all glossy or satin. They're definitely, none of them are mattes, okay? They're all pretty sheer, I will be honest. Like, depending on how you swatch it, it can be a very sheer pink. So they're buildable. So just know that going into it. They all have that glow, which is my favorite. Okay, so the next one is Pop. This one looks straight up red. Okay, it can be a very sheer red, but it is so pretty. It's very much a pink-based red. So on that video, I talked about, it reminded me of Ever Red. And Ever Red was a limited edition shade that they got rid of. Every Christmas it would come out, okay, which looks totally different in the 10 because this one was very deceiving, like a lot of the shades are. So there you go. There's Ever Red next to it, if I can do this. And I said if you liked Ever Red, you would like Pop. Right? Okay, let me see them closer. I would say Pop has a little bit more, like this is Ever Red. I'd say in person, Pop looks a little bit brighter, a little bit more coral in it than I would say Ever Red is more a pinky red. I mean, if you want to swatch it heavy, let me see if I can do this. I'm running out of fingers, guys. Swatch it heavy. Okay, you'll see this one's got a little bit more like of a berry pinky undertone. This one still has got pink undertones, but it is much brighter, more true red. In person, it looks more orange red almost. Oh, it's hard. Okay, so there you go. There's your comparison. Hopefully that helps because I know some people are like, but how does it compare to everything else I already have? So it is super pretty. I would say they're both super sheer. I mean, that's them next to each other. Just if I tap in. See how similar they are? They are similar. So if you love Ever Red, get you some Pop. I think you're really gonna like it. It just, oh my gosh, the difference of how it looks in the 10 is just crazy to me, right? This is why I tell you guys all the time, do not judge colors based on what you see in the pictures online or what it looks like in the 10. They're so deceiving. Pigments are hard to capture on camera. Okay, the next one is Pinky Promise. This one is much more of a bubblegum pink, in my opinion. I might have to swatch this next to a couple different ones. The more you build up the color, the more you can see the blue undertone. So let's see. Thought it would be similar to Cindy, but Cindy to me is much more peach. Okay, do you see that? It's got a lot more peachy in it. It's more similar to like Hollywood. Oh, I also as I found my Dahlia, I found other shades. I've got way too many compacts. Okay, this is Dahlia. So you'll see that one is so much more of a darker hot pink, and this is much more of a brighter, lighter hot pink, even though the 10 looks super hot pink. Okay, I also said Lolly, which was another limited edition shade. Kind of reminded me of this, but you'll see how, gosh, Lolly was super sheer. Now granted, this was a very heavy swatch, but in comparison, Lolly was more pink. This one, though, when sheared out, I feel like similar kind of that undertone. Hopefully you guys can kind of see. In person, though, they look very different because Lolly had that iridescent shimmer, which that one does not have, unfortunately. Okay, so then I'm gonna go into, let's see if I can get up here. This next one, it's just easier if I pop them out, is Venice. Oh my gosh, we don't have anything quite like this shade, and it's gorgeous, okay? It is more of a corally pink, I would say. That is a heavy swatch, for sure. If you can kind of see, gosh, it almost looks as bright as Dahlia there, or as dark as Dahlia there. But my closest guesstimate was probably Tropicana, but it is very different than Tropicana because Tropicana is much lighter and more sheer and much more peachy. And this one definitely has much more red in it. Gosh, they are all so pretty. It's hard to compare, but I know you guys like to see comparison swatches. Oh, they're so pretty. Okay. What is next? You guys, I've got too many compacts open and I'm losing it. I saved the best for last again. I don't know. Maybe you guys are gonna not think that this is the best. But I just know how many people loved Sunshine State. And I was seriously hoping that they would bring it back in a way that was more pigmented. So if you don't know what Sunshine State looked like, or say you started wearing Seint afterwards, this was Sunshine State. It was very much a gold shimmer. It looked pink, but it was not. Like, that's it swatched. You can't even see it. Okay, it was very much, very sheer, just went on like gold, 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 right? And I always was like, yeah, I wish it had more pigmentation like it looked in the 10, but still with that gold shimmer that we all loved so much. So this was mainly like a topper shade. You'd wear something with pigment and then you'd put this on over it and it would give the most gorgeous gold glow to the skin and to the lips. You guys, I still don't know how to describe this shade. Very pinky corally. Putting it next to Tropicana actually makes me think it looks even more coral. Yeah, it totally looks corally. So, but it's definitely a mix in between, and it's got that shimmer, baby. So stinking pretty. Like, I can't even tell you. Again, it's sheer, but not nearly as sheer as Sunshine State was. And it is totally buildable. Like, you can get the prettiest tone from it. But do you see how it's got that same pink shimmer? So if you built up enough of Sunshine State, you would be able to see a little bit more pigment. And this, I feel like, is pigmented, a little bit less of the gold, but more pigment, which is the perfect combination. So now I'm like trying to compare. This is very similar to Tropicana. I think it's got a little bit more pink in it. Not quite so corally, but man, putting them next to each other, I wouldn't have guessed it really right from the beginning, but yeah, it's got a little bit more pink. Can you see that? But it's got the gold. So if you love Tropicana, you'll love this. If you love Sunshine State, you'll love it. I honestly think that this is going to be everybody's new favorite, because I feel like it's so neutral still, that so many people can love it because it's not too orange, not too hot pink. Oh, it's so pretty. So it's so hard. Okay, so I didn't show it on the cheeks. I showed it on the lips in my IGTV. So I'm going to show it on the cheeks today because I seriously can't help it. Okay, let's see. It's so pretty. I want you guys to be able to see that gold shimmer. Like, look, if you don't like a dewy look, maybe you won't like it. But y'all know, seriously, that is like how I want my skin to look all the time. Like, I don't even need an illuminator. Oh my gosh, that color. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stop wearing this. You guys are gonna get really sick of me wearing this color because I'm gonna be wearing it nonstop. Ah. So anyway, I'm sorry, Summer Love. You just got replaced. This color is amazing. Like, this is what I wanted from Sunshine State all this time. That pigment. And it's buildable if you want it brighter, obviously. You guys, I like just that subtle. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, I will shut up. I'm sorry. As an artist, we get very excited about these things. Especially because it's been years since we've had a new lip and cheek. Years, guys, years. Okay, I will shut up. That is, I don't even know if I said the name. La Cienega. Did I say that? Probably not, because that name is hard for me to say and spell. La Cienega is the very last one. Yes, I'm excited. Okay, so what are we gonna put on the lips though? We've got to decide that. First of all, I've got to line my lips because I have no lip definition. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Ride or Die Astoria to line my lips real fast. Okay. What should we use? Guys, it's hard for me not to try all of them, but I haven't tried Pinky Promise yet. I don't really know if it'll go with this look. It's not a super pink look. I'm just kind of curious if I tap on what it would look like. So I'm just gonna tap. One of the reasons I love these lip and cheeks is because they can be very, like, worn differently, worn sheer or worn more pigmented. See, I really like that on the lips with Astoria, which kind of tones it down and darkens it a touch. I actually really like that, but I'm gonna mix. Okay, then I'm gonna add a little Venice on top. We're gonna brighten it up a little. This is how I like to experiment. I just keep adding layers until I like it. Ooh, that's really pretty too. Adds a little bit of brightness and ooh, I like that combo. So that was Pinky Promise, then Venice. Gosh, I don't know, do I want to change it? I don't feel like it needs more red. I'm just gonna add a little bit of candy on top. I might tone it down a little bit. It is the most nude, I'd say neutral. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So, such a pretty combo. And I don't feel like it's like taking away from the cheeks and the eyes that I'm about to do. Okay, there you go, guys. So 5 new lip and cheeks. We got Candy, Pop, Pinky Promise, La Cienega, if I can say that word, and Venice. So you can get that with the Ace of Shades collection. I believe it's discounted with all 5. Maybe not. I'd have to do the math. Or you can buy them all individually on the 29th. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add Angel Illuminator because if I don't do it right now, I will forget. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my brows so we can talk eyeshadows. Guys, sorry, I'm having to take off the bronzers so we can talk eyeshadows. So if you were around last year during the holidays, you'll remember we released an advent calendar with surprise 25 shades. The top 12, well, they said top most popular 12. I don't know. That is yet to be seen, but 12 of them were released earlier this summer, and I'm pulling off my bracelet so we can swatch the remaining 13. Oh, I forgot I have that all over. I literally just wiped off half of my lip and cheek swatches with my shirt. Okay, it's all good. Let's do eyeshadows. So I put all the eyeshadows in this Key West palette, and these are the final 13 coming out on that day. Let's do an eye look and let's swatch them all because I have them all written out here. So if you do have those, or you had watched some of the tutorials I did with the whole collection and we're waiting on a specific shade, I'm gonna tell you what the previous name was and then what the name is now so you know which one was which. Luckily, not all of these changed names and some of them are the same, okay? So I'm gonna try to even swatch some of these with shades we have now so you guys can compare, because I feel like that is the hardest thing to do, is being like, okay, but do I need that one if I already have this one? It looks similar. Okay, so the first one is Drift. Okay, Drift is much like Sabrina, in my opinion. It was called Eggnog, but for comparison, that's Sabrina. Okay, this is why I said they look so similar. Now, in person, Sabrina's a little bit darker and more champagne, and this is why I tell people it actually tends to brighten me a little bit more than Sabrina, and so I've been reaching for it. Can you kind of tell why? Like, this one's a little bit darker, this one's a little bit brighter, but same general tone, right? There's fuzzies flying right in front of my face. Okay, so Drift is now, or Eggnog is now called Drift. That is the first shade. Then we have Angel's Landing, okay? Angel's Landing was called Myrrh. I'll be honest, I'm trying to think what the most similar shade would be. Okay, it looks like this in the 10. And it's really hard for me to decide. So it's definitely got kind of almost a pink undertone bronze. For comparison, this is Foxy. Okay, you'll see how much darker and more bronzy that is. And then You Complete Me has more of that pinky undertoned, okay? But it is much lighter, much brighter, and much more foiled than those, okay? It's definitely unlike any shade that we have, in my opinion. And if you want to compare it to what was originally Gold, oh my gosh, what's it called now? The other one that was just released, okay? Oh my gosh, I'll put it down below. I can't remember. This one was the one that was just released from the same collection, okay? And then that's, so you'll see it's, gosh, it's, in person it looks a little bit more pink, but it's definitely more foiled than that one is. So, okay, I'm gonna run out of places to swatch if I swatch that many every time. All right, next is one of my favorites. It's now called Sis, but this was Mary. Okay, this one is definitely a pink foiled shade. Okay. Oh, is that not pretty? We don't have anything like it. The most similar would definitely be Soulmate. But Soulmate is much lighter, much less pink. This one is just straight up foiled and pink, and it's beautiful. Okay, so that is now called Sis. Next is the most deceiving of all the shades. Okay, it was called Garland, now it's called Atlantic. It's definitely a mermaid shade, but man, guys, I've even like tried to like kind of like scrape off the top to kind of get more pigment on my finger. It is one of those very chameleon shades. It, like, if you just barely run your finger over it, I'll show you. You're not gonna see much green, okay? If you really dig in, then you can see some green, but it is not nearly as green as it looks like in the 10. It's very much like you mainly see that really finely milled gold shimmer. It's not as foiled. It's more like Towanda, where it has that pigment. It can be built up and be darker, but it's mostly that gold shimmer you see. So this is another really, it's gonna be fun to kind of like put it over other shades and kind of change up the color of those shades. Like, do you see kind of those gold undertones? It's super pretty, definitely mermaid-esque. Okay, the next one did not change, so it's easy to remember. This is Hot Chocolate. Okay, so this one, let's see if we can find a shade to compare it to. I definitely would still say it's probably most similar to Foxy. Okay, this is Hot Chocolate, this is Foxy. Okay, it's darker, but it's definitely that foiled brown. I feel like it has a little bit more of a purpley undertone in it than Foxy does. Foxy is a little bit more golden. Okay, so this one is Foxy, much more gold. This one is like, yeah, it's got a little bit more of that pink undertone, pink purple kind of tone. It's so pretty. Okay, the next one is also one of my favorites. I've been reaching for this. Anytime you guys have seen me do like a smoky bronze eye, which is like one of my favorite looks to do, it's really hard for me not to use this shade because I think I might prefer it over Fin, which Fin has always been my favorite. So this one's called Snowbird. It didn't change. It's right there. It is the perfect bronze. Do you see that? See, I'm gonna have to swatch down here so you guys can see it. Okay, just that nice deep bronze. Now, if you compare it to Fin, Fin is much more, it's like darker and you see more gold in it, like I feel like, but it's definitely much darker. So both bronze, I mean, wearing both of them actually would be beautiful for a bronze look. Like this on the lid, this near the lash line to kind of give you that ombre. Oh, I love bronze eyeshadows. I love them so much. So as I'm running out of space, I'm gonna go to this part. The next one was Nutcracker. It's now called Claire. I swear this is like the creamiest matte I've ever swatched. It's so pretty. This we don't have anything like. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the 10. It looks very like pinky mauve almost, like, but it's like, I know everyone's asking next to Mama. Okay, next to Mama, it is so much darker. Okay, next to that one called the one that was just released, which used to be 34th Street, then it became, I'll put it down below. You guys, all these new names I'm horrible at names. Like, I will see your face, I will recognize you a million times, but I suck at names. So all these new eyeshadow colors, give me some time. I promise I'll eventually get there. So the one that was just released that looked similar to Mama, that was lighter. Okay, so this is the new Claire, and then that was Mama, and then that was the new one that was just released. Paris, it was called Paris. Okay, Paris. So in comparison, right? Compared to, I'm trying to think what would be the closest thing. Lullaby. There's Lullaby. So you can see how much darker that is. Much more mauve. Claire is much more of that kind of mid-tone pink, mid-tone for sure. I know you guys want to see this one because I'm going to be wearing this one a lot. It was called Pecan Pie. Now it is Butterscotch. Is that not pretty? Okay, and I know because I'm going to be wearing it so much, you guys are going to be like, but how does it compare to Bubba? Which you guys know is my ride or die. So let's swatch them next to each other. There is Butterscotch. Like these tones are so my jam right now for fall. I would wear them every day if I was allowed. Okay, and then I'm gonna swatch it next to Bubba. You can see how much lighter Bubba is, right? So this one is definitely much darker, much warmer, but I also wanted to show you guys next to Sedona, which is what I've been wearing on repeat ever since it came out. It was part of the last 12. Okay, so that is Sedona. Okay, so you can kind of see the different tones. This is still warm, but more red undertone. And then this one's a little bit more of the orange side. It will make blue eyes pop like you wouldn't believe. I wish I had blue eyes because I just naturally love those colors anyway. So there you go. Now, the next one that is even more so orange undertone would be Tangerine. It used to be called Wassail. So I'm just gonna put these all right next to each other so you can compare. Okay, so you guys might say, well, that looks like Leo, which also used to really scare me, and now I think it's beautiful. So there you go, there's Leo. So this one is darker, okay? Leo is, I don't know, man, that's hard to compare. In person, it feels like Leo is much more true orange. And this one's more of a yellow orange, but darker, like a dark yellow orange. My descriptions are getting worse the longer I do these videos, I swear. I'm like swatching all over the place and getting shadow everywhere. Okay, the other shade I wore on repeat this past week at Reunion, is called Holly. It's still called Holly. It is this shade, and I honestly had to swatch it next to the color to be kind of compare because it reminds me of Zion. Okay, so if you like Zion, oh my gosh, it is definitely like that deep, like clay red. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so here's Zion to compare. Okay. It's darker. Zion is much more of a medium tone, I would say. That mid-tone, I use it for a mid-tone all the time. This one, I can use as a mid-tone. I've been using it up here a lot, lightly, or building it up in the outer corner for depth. It is one of those shades that I think you can wear either way, depending on how much you apply, which are literally my favorite, like Sedona. This one, what was that? Butterscotch, Sedona, that one, like those kind of right in the middle, depending on your skin tone, you could easily build up that color. They're not like super deep dark where it's gonna be hard to blend in your crease, right? Okay, so next is Cranberry. It also didn't change. Where the heck am I gonna put these? Let me make sure I have the right one. Yeah, Cranberry. This is like, these next three are seriously just so beautiful to swatch. Cranberry. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all of them, and then I'm gonna swatch some next to them so you'll be able to compare. I'm running out of room. Eve did not change. It's even darker. That one does have a shimmer. Okay, both of those have shimmers. I feel like these are just like different depths, all shimmery, all the same color family, all so satisfying to see swatched. And the last one was called Believe. Now it's called Moscow. Okay, so Cranberry, Eve, Moscow. Okay, so the most similar, I would say, you guys are gonna ask me, Gilded. Totally, you wanna see Gilded next to it. There's Gilded, okay? So Gilded, oh man, it's so hard to see. Let me look on camera. Oh my gosh, or in the mirror. These are hard. Like, how do you describe? darkness is. This one's definitely in between these two. I feel like this one is a little bit brighter on the eye. It's got a little bit more sheen to it. This is a lot more depth. This one's got a lot more red, orange kind of family. But I know Gilded is a favorite for so many, but sometimes it was too dark to wear in certain parts. I know for me, like, I could really build it up and wear it in the outer corner, but it was a little bit too dark for my lid. It closed off my eye. So I would totally reach for Cranberry as like that alternative. And then Ken, which has always been one of my very, very favorite outer corner dark colors. That is Ken. Okay, so if you compare, this one is much more burgundy. This one's much more purple. And this one, I didn't realize how purple it looked until I swatched it next to these. Okay, so definitely kind of still in that plum family, but this one is, I mean, it just looks so much darker and more purple. These are much more the burgundy family, I would say. Oh, I also want to swatch Pomegranate, which was one of the 12. So you guys can see it down here next to these. So you can kind of compare. If you picked up Pomegranate, okay, so that one is, so which one was it? Compared to Zion and Holly, okay, that is Pomegranate. So much more deep and burgundy. And these are a little bit more just kind of warm and red, like that red brick color. My gosh, have you seen anything as beautiful as this arm swatch? Now I have to actually decide on an eye look. Since I am talking way too much as normal, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do one eye, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what I did on the other eye. So I'll be right back. Okay, friends, let's see if I can recreate what I just did. My goal was to use as many colors as I could in one eye look without making it complicated. Just to kind of be able to show you guys as much as I can. Obviously, I'm gonna be trying to show all of the colors. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, follow me there. That's where I like to do the most of my eyeshadow tutorials, and they are saved in a playlist on my IGTV. Okay, so let's start. So my shirt was kind of my inspiration, plus of course these beautiful colors in the palette. So I wanted to try to use some of these more warmer tones. So this is what I came up with. It's definitely shimmery and I love it. So, all right, let's get started with the crease, which is where I like to always start. And we're gonna go in with Butterscotch. Now, this color can be super pigmented, so I like to slowly build up color. And I'm gonna keep my eyes open because this color is mainly gonna be what's drawing my eye upward for like color with my hooded eyes, right? So I'm gonna slowly kind of just, and I'm like barely touching my brush to my eye, guys. If you have trouble blending, I say the biggest thing is just to tap in, tap off excess, and learn how to build up color, because it's far easier to blend as you're adding color than to try to blend away color because you added too much to one spot. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, now I can always go back and add more, and I'll show you that. But I got a nice base of like where my actual eye, when my eyes open, I can see the color. That was my goal. Okay, now I'm going into Holly. Okay, this warm red. And this one is gonna go just farther down on the eye, more in my crease, my literal crease. So when I close my eyes, you won't be able to apply this shade with your eyes open, okay? It's going in, and it's gonna add depth because this is darker, obviously, than that color. Still warm, okay? We're gonna slightly ombreing this color down. Now this color can be a little bit harder to blend out sometimes, so I just went back into my Butterscotch because there was a spot I couldn't get to blend. And I'm just gonna use that to blend it out, and then it kind of disappeared. So clean brushes are key. This is my problem. I literally just used like 3 brushes on this other side. So clean brush, use your shadow switcher to get off excess, kind of blur that out. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to the smudge brush, the flatter end, and I'm going into hot chocolate, and this is gonna be about halfway my lid shade. Okay, you can go all the way across if you want, but I'm just gonna do it right here. And you'll see it can be a very subtle shade, I feel like. You can kind of dig in for more pigmentation or build that up, and then it will kind of pop more with that shimmer. But it's such a nice neutral brown that I feel like anyone can wear this shade. It's not too gold, not too silver. Like, you know, it's not like Stardust, which is super neutral. It's just a beautiful brown shimmer. Okay, so that one's gonna go on that first half of my eye, and then I'm just gonna remove excess, and then I'm gonna go into Moscow, which is the reddish shimmer, and I'm gonna do that on the outside. And actually I'm gonna go ahead and use the rounded end of the brush and just kind of press that on that outer corner for that tone there. Do you see how pretty that is? It is definitely much lighter than Gilded. So we're going with this one right here. But I feel like this color I could totally wear all over the lid as well. Oh, so pretty. Okay, there we go. You could totally end right there very easily. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. Let's see, what did I add? I added Angel's Landing to the center of my lid, just as like that pop of light. So I'm just gonna use my finger like so, and right where those two colors connect, so I don't have to really blend them out much, I'm just gonna press that on right in the center of my eye. And you can do as much or as little as you want, just so it kind of blurs that, and you don't have to worry about the harsh line. You can kind of just gently use your brush, and there you go. Okay, now I forgot to do my lower lash line. I used the small end of the eyeshadow brush, still Butterscotch, because I don't like to put super red shades under my eyes since they're already red and irritated. So I'm gonna stick with Butterscotch, and I'm gonna go all along the lash line. Halo, give me some definition. Right, going back to the smudge brush, I had to pick up, actually, no, I lied. I'm gonna go ahead and line my eyes first before I finish my eyes, and I'll show you why. So I'm gonna just pick up the line brush, and I'm gonna go into Black Friday eyeliner. I'm gonna kind of tap that in to get it on my brush, and then I'm gonna just kind of press that along my lower lash line, small little sections, just to kind of define that and make my lashes look a little bit thicker. Okay, and go back in now, and I'm gonna use the multitasker. And I like this brush to be able to kind of set that liner and kind of tone it down as well. I don't want it quite so black. I'm gonna go in with, gosh, if I can remember these names. This one didn't change. Snowbird, which is probably the deepest shade we got here. And I'm just gonna kind of tap in and then just kind of press that along the lash line. So it's gonna kind of set it. It's gonna add a little bit of gold there. So it's gonna kind of tone it down as well, so it's not quite so black. And it's gonna make sure it doesn't go anywhere, but it's also kind of smudged out a little, so it looks like I have a little bit more of that smokiness along the lash line. Okay, totally in there as well, but I wanted a little bit more depth. So I'm gonna use that same color in the smudge brush, and I feel like I didn't add a whole lot, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this to kind of just go right on that outer corner and into my literal crease. Just a touch, if you can tell the difference. And then the only other thing I did on my lower lash line was, again, I took that same color and not really lining, but just kind of smudging that bronze color along my lower lash line. About a third or so of the way. All right, so we're almost done. Brightening, of course. Eyeshadow brush. Did I say eyeshadow everything brush earlier? Used to be the name, guys, I swear. Inner corner, okay, where I don't have texture, so keeping it right to that tear duct, not down here where it will just increase the look of texture. So right there, that pop. A little bit under the highest point of the brow, blend that out. Now is usually where I look and I'm like, okay, am I all blended? Because sometimes after I apply these shimmers on the lid, I feel like the shimmers get up here in the crease and then I get texture issues, which I don't want. So I'm just gonna barely tap in and go right in that actual crease again. That was Holly. And then again into Butterscotch to kind of blend that out, just to make sure I've got a nice blend up there as well. And there you go. That was my eyeshadow look. What do you guys think? I'm gonna add some mascara to the lower lash line, and I think I'm done. Okay, I am set. If you get too far over with your eyeshadow, you can always pick up that brush, kind of clean it up. Or if you like a matte look, finish with your powder last. There you go. So I hope that was helpful in seeing all the new shades. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't even talk about the other product. There's a new highlight shade coming as well. Oh my gosh, I'm getting lip and cheeks everywhere. It was the one item I wasn't able to snag. It sold out immediately individually. New highlight shade called Versailles. Now, if you are fair or you like a pop of brightness or maybe medium shade, I can definitely color match you for the shade if you want to know if it'll be a good fit for you. But it is in between white peach and linen. I would say if you've tried linen and it pulls chalky on you, you might like Versailles. It has much more of a pink undertoned, but it is fair. It has less yellow in it than white peach. It is brighter than white peach. So if you're in between those shades and kind of in that range, you might want to try it. It might be your perfect shade. Email me if you want to know if it would be a good fit for you. There you go. Hopefully that was helpful. Sorry I talked so much and that was so long. But if you need a color match for Seint's 3D foundation, my color match questionnaire is in the link in the drop box below the video. Just hit the little arrow. It will open up, and I always have all shades that I've used on my face in my Get Ready With Me, all of it down there. Any information that you might need to know is always down there if you are wondering or you have a question. Set those alarms for 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on September 29th if you want to get some of these bad boys before they sell out, because I'm just going to warn you, sometimes the site crashes, sometimes things sell out because the demand is that high. If you need a color match before then, I would be happy to help you out. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Love you.